Day 2 at the North Sea Regions Conference, and there'd been time to consider the first business of the day, which was conclusions on the cluster discussions. These would be presented later at the main plenary session. In the Climate Cafe, they began with a bonding exercise.
Germans. Okay, now the Dutch and the Germans together. The Swedish and the UK together.
Then the delegates spoke about things they wanted to happen. This on water conservation.
In terms of the strategy, what we really wanted to achieve was a society that wouldn't fight the water, the flooding and all of the other threats we're facing, but rather adapt or live with and use the water.
At the Innovation Cluster Cafe, discussions were intense, with separate tables working out how their views had crystallised by listening to others.
What are our conclusions? We've talked very much around education, actually. We can see that there's quite a subtlety in the culture. You can't change culture in a hurry, so we have to develop certain tools in education, or when people want to do startups where they can get more support or realise that it's safe to take some risk.
In the tourism and creative industry session, there was definite focus on the need for the whole region to realise that they had to work on a common presentation, with education being geared to the identity of a creative region, and also looking on common products.
We would like to see what are the common characteristics of the North Sea region from a cultural heritage perspective. So we could identify what type of activities that should be funded in future and what those activities should be connected to.
Still much to talk about in the coffee break before the final conclusions were presented in the main hall.
We had a very, very energetic meeting this morning.
Each of the Cluster Cafe groups nominated a rapporteur who briefly presented their findings. All the valuable new ideas and resolutions, both positive and negative, will be written up at full length later and published on the North Sea Programme website. Then it was out into the sunshine and onto buses, as delegates split into 5 groups to see at first hand local examples of excellence in achieving some of the North Sea Programme's aims. First stop for the Culture and Tourism group was the Stavanger Kunstmuseum, where a gallery guide introduced the work of well-known British sculptor Anthony Gormley, whose self-portraits in statue form are dotted across the city.
We are trying to make a menu that shows the diversity of the culture and history. We take the long lines from 10,000 years back in history to the modern time.
Having seen the new, it was time for a reminder of Norway's past. The world-famous Swords in the Rock sculpture, a reminder of kings of old. A performance artist representing the spirit of place gazed enigmatically across the water.
It was a perfect day to escape from the conference and visit the iPark Innovation Centre in the shadow of the Sommarka mountain. First to talk about the centre, which was started in 1993 with the government and Rogaland Council as fund holders. The centre is an incubator for start-up companies and has a close relationship with the university. 14 students are employed here.
We have had more than 100 companies through the incubator, and I think that more than 75% of which are made into successes, and in the future hopefully more. So a lot of companies will start up at the incubator and grow into the other buildings in the Innovation Park.
Across the road is the Culinology Centre, a new temple to the science of food. There are laboratories and equipment to look at all aspects from heat treatment to packaging and the art of the chef. Upstairs, a company giving instruction on the technology of the drinking glass to bring out the aroma of alcoholic drinks. In these productive lands, this visit was a fitting finale to the North Sea Regions Conference.